All right, hey guys, it is Happy, also known as Happy Teach. I have another video. This was a user requested video, and the person is setting his type up to be used in an embroidery machine. Now, the term that embroidery machines use is digitized. However, text is already digitized, but it just means preparing it for the embroidery software to go into the embroidery machine. Now, Photoshop um, cannot export to the extension that's needed, but I can show you how to prepare it so that it is ready to go into the software. So here we go. So I'm going to go to New File, and I have two screens, so I gotta bring this over. And for now, I'm definitely gonna choose print, and I'm just gonna choose a square. I might just make this a square. So I might just say 8.5 by 8.5. And it really doesn't matter. You don't have to do this step. I'm just doing it. But I chose print because it'll come up already with a resolution of 300. It's set in RGB color, and that's fine. I'm just gonna hit create. So now I'm going to type hello, which is my favorite thing to type whenever because I just love greeting people and I love saying hello, right? So why not? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just click and I'm going to type hello. I'll make it all caps and I'll give it an exclamation point. Okay, so I have hello. So I have my type here. Of course, with it selected, I can choose any of the options over here. I can make the text larger. I can also change, let's find something that we like. I'll just use Alphorn. This is my go-to font as well. If I want to increase the size, I can. I can go over here and just scrub and make it a lot larger. That's a little bit too large, so I'm going to scrub. Or I can go over here and I can also type it, but how much fun is it to scrub it, right? All right, so I have hello. Let me find its center. There we go. All right. So I might add stuff, but that's okay. So now type is already digitized. We could go up here to where it says type, and we have options up here. Like we can create a work path, which is going to create selections. We can convert it to a shape. We're not going to do that. I'll show that in a different video. We can convert it to a shape. We can rasterize the type layer, which I do not suggest doing ever, but that option is there for you. We can warp the text and things like that. What I like to do though, I can do it directly inside of this layers panel. But what I'm going to do first, and I always suggest doing this so that you have a backup copy, is back this up. So I'm going to make a new layer, duplicate it by just dragging this layer down to that little plus sign that's inside of the square. I'm going to hide that layer. And this is just so that I have this backup for later. If we ever, like if you're like, oh, you know what? I like this, but now I want to change the font. This way you don't have to type a whole bunch, right? All right, so I have the backup copy right here. And here's what I'm going to do. It's just, I found the easiest way. And actually, you know what? We didn't even have to back up the type. I just remembered with doing this method. So you really don't even have to back up your type because, as a matter of fact, I'll get rid of this one. Okay, so you don't have to back it up with this method. But if you're using any other method, like rasterizing your type and stuff like that, definitely do this method. What we're going to do, super quick, super easy, we're going to make a selection. So to make a selection a quick and easy way, if I hold the command or control, if you're on a PC, I am on a Mac. So for me, it is the command key. I'm going to hold the command key. If you look over my layers panel over here where I am, you're going to see that the hand shows up, it's pointing, and it has this little marquee around it. That says, hey, you're about to make a selection of this layer. And we say, hey, Photoshop, sure are. Click it. And what it does is it makes a selection of that type. What? So easy, too easy, right? Didn't even do much yet, right? So what I'm going to do now is make a new layer. And in this new layer, can you guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill it in with a color. So I could either, if I like this blue that's over here, or I can choose a new color, or I don't even have to go through that. I can go up here to edit, and I can go down to fill. So now when I go to edit fill, since I made that blue the foreground color, I can choose that foreground color, or I have options. I can choose the background color. I can create a different color from the color wheel and choose that. I can choose a pattern. I can choose whatever I want. That's the thing about this. You're not limited. You got so many options. But since I went ahead and chose that foreground color, I'm going to choose the foreground color and I'm going to click OK. All right. So now I have this in a format right here. I can hide that one. I don't need anything else. I have this in a format that is digital. So now when I take it into the software, I don't have to worry about the software saying, hey, you don't have this font, or hey, I can't use this, or what have you. I have it in that format that's needed. Now I'm going to hit Command D because I'm on a Mac. You're on a PC, you would hit Control D to deselect it, and then I can save this out. So I can go to File, I can save as, and now is where you're going to want to see what that software wants. Does it want you to bring in a PNG? Does it want you to bring in a JPEG? What exactly does the software want you to bring in that format? And then what's going to happen is the embroidery software has its form of digitization, and it is going to digitize it and save it as I think it's like a STE file, or actually they have multiple files that it can save it as. So that's going to be up to whatever software that you choose. And there are a lot of embroidery software as well that you can choose from. So that part's pretty cool. All right, so I'm just gonna, for now, I'll just save this. I'll save it to Creative Cloud. And then I'm just gonna call hello EMB. I always like to say what it's about, so that stands for embroidery for me. And then, so I'm gonna save this. It's gonna be a PSD. I haven't exported it yet. And then next, I will go ahead and, well, actually, it's a PSDC, and that's just because it's in the Creative Cloud. So that's Photoshop Document Cloud. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna export it, and I'll export it as a PNG. I'm gonna pretend that the software wants a PNG and that I know this already. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so a PNG, I hit save. And so now you have a file that is ready to go into that embroidery machine. You don't have to worry about it saying you're missing fonts. Now, if you do go into it and it does say something like a font is missing, that is because it would be looking at this layer. But that's not going to happen if you save it as a PNG or a JPEG, because it's not even going to have access to the layers. But if you save it like as a PDF or SVG, if you save it in a format that does look at the layers, it might be like, hey, you have a layer missing. For instance, if or it might say, hey, this font's missing. So for instance, if you're on a Cricut and you put it in Design Space, it is gonna see that layer. Don't even worry about it. You're not even worried about that. You can delete that layer when you get into the Design Space software. All right, as long as you know you have the outlines, you are set. But pretty much that is it for today's video. That's how you prepare the file. It is already digital because it is inside of a digital format, and it is made into outlines. So you shouldn't have to worry about anything with your fonts. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, please like it. That helps me out with YouTube. So please like it, share it, comment on it. All of those things help my algorithm and help me boost and maybe rank one day. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Ta-ta for now. Until our next tutorial. Peace.